Welcome to the Conscious Creative Podcast, your weekly dose of soul-to-soul conversation that will have you saying peace out to your 9 to 5 to explore in your sacred calling. The topics center around conscious business and interviews with the folks who started them. We'll be exploring the art of being human and what it takes to live your life fully expressed and financially free. I'm Christina Gomes, and I went from high-paying job as a psychotherapist to leaving it all behind for my desire to travel the world playing my original music, to becoming the CEO and soulpreneur founder of freeyourcreativity.org, where I help visionary leaders create the businesses of their wildest dreams. If you have a sacred calling, stick around. My prayer is that you become the permission slip for the collective as you hear the soul-inspiring stories that call you forth into creative action. Let's get to the soul.
Hello, hello. Yes, wild, wealthy, and well-known soulpreneurs. I'm so happy to be here with you for this live transmission. I'm the founder of this group, Christina Gomes, and I help you launch your high-value offer. Create it, launch it, sell it to high-paying clients. This is a really beautiful topic that we're going to share today. I'm going to talk to you about meeting 10K months. Now, maybe you have seen a lot of messages out there on becoming a six-figure entrepreneur and having consistent revenue and consistent 10K months and what that really means. I want to dive into today what that really means for you and why this topic is so important. So meeting 10K months might actually feel like a far off dream, but you tell me, are you there? What's the highest revenue month that you've had? So in the beginning, there's always a new beginning, but years and years ago, when I was sharing my gifts around the world as a transformational facilitator, workshop facilitator, yoga teacher, guest speaker, I would show up to festivals and host singing workshops and all sorts of cacao ceremonies. I loved to live fully expressed and share my gifts with the world. And I wasn't as business savvy as I am today. I was not a six-figure soulpreneur. I was making about $1,000, $2,000 a month, and this was my only income. I would stop and pause and volunteer in places, and I would really live very minimally. And it was fun for a while. It was fine for a while. But there came a point in my life where minimal or surviving just wasn't where I wanted to be. And so I knew that there was a better way. I knew I was not meant to work for someone else. Give me a 1 in the comments if you know in your heart that you are meant to be your own best, most loving boss. You're meant to be an entrepreneur. You were born to lead. And yet, when you look at the revenue that you're making each month, it's not actually meeting 10K. And some people, soul-led entrepreneurs, like to say, oh, okay, it's not about the money. Like these 10K messages, people get very resistant to them. But I want you to imagine what you could do with an overflow of money. So I worked with a beautiful client, a yoga teacher that really wanted to create a program that made change in her community. She wanted to position herself as a high value guide. And when we were working on pricing her offer, she priced it based on making 5K months. And she did this because she thought in her head, well, when I counted up all my bills and I counted up the very minimal it takes for me to live, that the number was 5K. And so I'm happy with that. I'm happy with the minimum. And what I want you to start to transition into is that you don't have to live a minimum life. You don't have to live a minimal life. You don't have to earn just enough where people aren't whispering about you, and people will, folks will. Clients come to me with this big heart and they say it's not about the money. And yet, what could you do if you had an overflow of money? What could you bring to your own life and to your community if you had so much money that you were able to give more freely, that you were able to become an angel investor, that you were able to start and fund nonprofits? So when I look around in the community that I live, there's so many beautiful projects that aren't being funded. There's nonprofits that help to feed the stray dogs. There's all of these animal rescues. There's projects for local Guatemalan Mayan children to be able to learn music and to learn how to DJ, which is a nonprofit that happens in our communities. And I don't have the skill of DJing, so I'm not going to be there as a teacher, but I can offer my financial resources. And I get to do that from a space of overflow, not going like, okay, budgeting, I can give $100 to this charity, or I can, maybe someday buy my land where I want to create a regenerative project and build a permaculture sustainable environment around me. I could do that in 10 years because I am minimizing and just earning enough to get by. So I actually make more than 10K months. I make around $20,000 a month through my gifts. And that didn't come from me going, okay, 5K is enough. That came from having the goal of $50,000 months. And with the goal of $50,000 months, I moved in my business from that place because I have clarity of how I want to live my life. And I want to live my life in overflow. I want to be able to have accessible programs for people. I want to be able to offer workshops in the community that are maybe low cost. And I'm not able to do that if I have a minimal mindset, right? So this is why today's topic is so important, is I want to help expand what is possible for you. I want to help you meet those 10K months, not so that you can raise the number in your bank account. It's so that you can actually live your mission, that you have a purpose that is deeper than money. You have a purpose that is beyond stacking cash in a corner of your room somewhere. You have a purpose that you want to channel that money into. So you can let me know, what is your bigger mission? And I just came from a 5-day sacred space holding retreat, and I was in a little corner of a town that is just the next town over. It's a village, really, the next village over. And when I was on this land, I really saw what the leaders of this retreat were doing. And the land there was so fertile. The land there was so happy. The plants were in communion with each other. And it was different than when I've gone to other retreat centers, where the retreat centers were more about the people or were more about different aspects. Obviously, the food was great and the offering was really beautiful and the community was really beautiful. But what I noticed that stood out to me was this land. And it got me thinking of how I want to expand, and why I really want to create $50,000 months is because I would really love to invest in a piece of land and have a community place where people can come and commune with the land. And that takes resources. That takes experts. I'm not an expert in permaculture. I'm an expert in what I'm an expert in creative expression and sharing our voice and designing transformational experiences for people. So when I understood that, there's a deeper reason why I want to make $50,000 a month, and it's not just to say, okay, I'm a millionaire, I'm a future millionaire. It really has a a transformational space. It has a deeper meaning. And this is how we all become deep money makers. So this is an important topic today. And I'm going to share with you today 3 reasons why you might not be meeting 10K months. Now that you understand that you are perfectly a beautiful person for having a big money goal, you don't have to limit yourself by how much money you need to pay your bills, that you can actually call in and live in a state of expansion and overflow, and that being a person that desires more does not mean that you're not spiritual, right? You get to desire more. You get to have more, all right? So now we're going to get to that more. Now, too many spiritual entrepreneurs limit themselves, and I'm going to help you today with the foundational pieces of business that had me meeting 10K consistent months in my second year of business. So it took me from these foundational lessons that I'm going to teach on today, took me from 1K and 2K months to consistent 5K months to consistent 10K months to now $20,000 months and $50,000 launches, which launches the whole process where you may launch your offer and receive such a beautiful bounty and abundance and overflow of resources in the form of money from your gifts and talents. But today we're going to talk around 3 reasons why you might not be meeting 10K months and what to actually do instead. All right, so let's get into it. So if you're new to my world, you may not know this, but if you've been around for a while, then you know that I love to work in a holistic way. I work with my clients in a holistic way, meaning that my offerings are not just mindset. I am a mindset expert. I studied psychology and have a master's in clinical psychology and do believe in the power of our thoughts and our thoughts creating our reality. And that's not the whole picture of our conscious businesses. So mindset is one key feature. There also is an energetic component to everything that I do and offer and everything in life. And we cannot build a conscious business without addressing energy. So everything in life is energy. We are learning to harness energy, and energy is vibration. And when you use the vibration in your voice to share a message that leads to your offerings, this is how energy runs our businesses. This is how energy expands our businesses. So there's mindset, there's energy, but something that I really needed to infuse in order to meet those 10K months was a sound strategy. And so this is really where my expertise comes into play, is weaving all 3 like a braid. And this is what I focus on with my clients. As soon as we release some things that are holding them back in the mindset, and we expand in what they feel is possible and how they're able to hold their energy and hold the energy of money and hold the energy of a group and command a stage, and their presence is filled with an overflow of energy, we really also want to weave in a sound strategy that allows for them and allows for you to have a sustainable business that grows over time. So wherever you are at now, if you're making your first $1,000 in business, if you're at consistent 5K months, if you've had a 10K launch, but you don't know how to make that consistent, then this lesson today is going to be super, super important. So for the first thing that we're going to talk about is this mindset that holds many new entrepreneurs and soul-led entrepreneurs and even spiritual entrepreneurs who've been in the game for a while. This mindset starts to creep up and holds a lot of people back. Lotte says strategy is key. The ecosystem moves with the seasons. There's always a plan. Exactly. And I like to be involved in the plan. I love divine timing. I love listening to what the universe and my guides have planned for me and involving myself in the plan and planning with the universe, planning with the larger plan and going with the flow in that way. Not just going with the flow and letting universe surprise me, but going with the flow of actually being a part and co-collaborating with the universe on a plan for my business. So like a plan for your life, sure, I'm open to miracles. And I planned this live video. I planned this with a very high level strategy so that I know that I am showing up as the best version of me. And I know that I am helping people to transform even in my more accessible parts of my business, which is this free live transmission. So let me know if you think this. Do you think that you need a brand new audience before you can make 10K months? Are you just thinking like, okay, I love to meet 10K. I would love to be in an overflow of money. And there's just not enough people in my audience, or the people in my audience aren't going to pay for my services. They're just this way, or they're that way. And I have this thought. So if you have this thought, you just get to clean this up. And I'm going to help you today clean this up. And I had this thought because I was a world traveler and I traveled I lived in ashrams and I met a lot of spiritual people and I didn't have a lot of money. And so I projected my own situation onto other people. But when I really started to talk to people around, they may be going through this or they may have this concern, but not everybody was concerned about money in the way that I was. So my own situation and thoughts around money and my life are not to be projected onto other people. So if you have grown up in a certain situation, or you see people that do come to you and say, hey, I don't have money for this, or maybe you have family members that complain about money, what I want you to understand is that you get the opportunity to come out of that bubble. Now, there are people already in your audience that don't have these thoughts, that are abundant, that are resourceful, that are desiring a transformation and a change, and they are more than willing to pay for that. They're more than willing to invest in themselves. But if you continuously talk to the people in your audience that are in scarcity mentality, or that aren't willing to part with the resources that they do have, because I know people who have thousands and thousands of dollars saved, but they're in such scarcity mindset, or they live in such fear that they aren't willing to invest in themselves. And it becomes this conversation of convincing people who are in scarcity mindset to invest in programs. And we don't have to share that kind of content. All we get to do is know in our heart the value of our offerings and the services we provide, and speak directly to the people who desire to transform in those ways. So now if you don't really know how to do that, or you've been trying to do that and you're still not meeting 10K months, this is why I created the Conscious Creative Business Immersion. Because one post is not going to make or break our businesses. And when you build the muscle of sharing a message that you know lands with your most resonant and ready to buy clients, then you fill up your programs without even having to worry about convincing anyone. And you may think, okay, I need a brand new audience. But the truth is, they are in your audience now. You just haven't built the muscle and the skill to speak to them. And this takes refinement, and it takes guidance. And I still do this work. This is a foundational principle. So whenever I go, okay, I'd like to now make 50K months, I look back at my content and I look at the content I'm sharing, and I see and I dissect, where am I speaking to people that are disempowered and they're not ready to buy because I have a big heart and I want my program to help them as well. But we also want to make it easy for ourselves. We also want to meet 10K months without it being such an uphill battle. So when you build that muscle and build that skill of messaging to the right kind of people, then your offers fill up with grace and ease, and your offers become a lot of fun to deliver. When you are delivering to people who come to your enrollment calls jazzed up to work with you, your offerings become really fun as well. And if you are convincing people in your content, then believe me, you're going to be convincing people in your delivery process. And how do I know this? It happened to me. I used to share a message that was based in the way that we learn how to market. So if you are sharing a message based in fear and speaking to people, trying to convince them, it's okay. You just haven't worked with me. You just haven't learned anything different. And this is the way we're taught. This is old school, old paradigm marketing. And it works because fear is a powerful energy. That's why it's used in political campaigns. And yet we are moving into a new paradigm way of selling and a new paradigm way of marketing. And I no longer want to be a part of a paradigm where we're using a fake urgency or fear-based marketing to sell. Now, you may be doing this, but not on purpose because it's the way that we're taught. So if you've ever taken a marketing course or you've taken a low-cost workshop on marketing or you've signed up for a webinar and you're learning about how to market your offers and how to build a business, then you may have been learning from people that aren't really resonant with you and who you are and who you've chosen to become. But this type of marketing seeps into our awareness and into our field, and it shows up in our messaging in sneaky ways unless we've built the muscle in a new way. I teach all of my clients how to really share a message that connects with people who don't need a lot of convincing. Because when I did, it worked, this fear-based marketing. Fear-based marketing will work. And then I had people in my program that needed convincing to come to the calls. And so I would much rather you have an offering where people are there ready to receive the transformation that your beautiful tools, your presence, your gifts are able to provide. Because our marketing and our businesses, we don't learn how to market just to learn how to market and make money. We, me and you, people like you and I, we learn how to market so that we can share our gifts and help the people, help our clients truly and deeply. And when we're bringing on people or we're signing people who are just there to try something or who needed a lot of convincing to jump in, well, then they need a lot of convincing the whole way through. And your programs are not as fun because you never really get to the delivery of your gifts because I remember still trying to convince some people to watch my videos. So now this doesn't happen. The people who join my programs, they're self-sufficient, they're responsible, they really want the results that my offerings help them to create. And so it's a natural flow. Sure, I work with them through some resistance, and I speak to people who are just a little bit less resistant, and it makes the process really beautiful. So if you're not sure how to really call those people in, that's what my signature create method does for you. We first start with who is it? Who is it that you're calling in? Because they are in your audience already. But have you really identified who you're ready to work with now? And maybe you are ready to work with a higher caliber client, and there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. And it's such a beautiful experience when your business is lighting you up because you are working with people who are lit up to work with you, who show up for themselves, who show up for your calls, who show up looking for the empowerment. in seeking to empower themselves rather than seeking for you to fix them. So that's the one reason why you may not be meeting 10K months, is because you have a mindset that the people in your audience are, you have to get a whole new audience. So then you go around trying to grow your audience rather than writing soul touching content that calls forth the people that you're truly ready to work with now. Okay. So another thing that might be holding you back from meeting 10K months is that you're really hyper focused on creating a niche. And this is what we're taught, right? You got a niche. The riches is in the niches. And I don't even know how to say this word out loud, but really, as we start our businesses and we go to learn about what makes a business, we hear this word niche, then we spend months, days, weeks, maybe even years defining our niche, while we're missing a very key component, the key component to our business success, which is not the niche. There's nothing wrong with the niche, but it's not the niche that makes you money. It is your offer and the clarity of it and the speaking about it in ways that actually lead to a sale. So if you're hyper focused on your niche or your I help statement without actually understanding the value of your offer in your bones, then you're simply prolonging your success. And so what I help my clients to do with my signature create method is we extract the offer that is actually going to help people transform, so that once you've taken a few people through your signature process, you have those testimonials and your business naturally grows on the things that are beautiful about your business. So your niche is not the thing that grows your business. It is your offer and the clarity of your offer and the way that you speak about it and the way that you know that it is the thing that is a culmination of all that you are. So I just got off an enrollment call with a beautiful potential client, and that was what we worked on in this call was, how can I bring all of myself? I am more than a relationship coach. I am more than a business coach. And I am more than a business coach. I am a business coach who helps spiritual and soul-led entrepreneurs meet 10K consistent months, so that the big-hearted folks in the world are the ones that are leading the way. We're fully resourced. We're all coming from an overflow. It's like light workers actually turning the light on, because we're dimming our light when we're dimming or limiting the amount of success that we can have because we're spiritual. And so spirituality can't include money, or I don't want people to think I'm greedy or materialistic. And you're not. If you know who you are in your heart, then you don't have to worry about that. And you just get to create wealth, and you get to create generational wealth for all the good reasons that you want to create that. So there's a bigger reason why I became a business coach. And there are so many ways that I can describe what I do, but what is important to you is that I can help you get what you want. And so your offer helps your people get what they want.
Hey there, visionary leader. If you're resonating with this message, I'd like to invite you into your next level life and business. Enrollment has begun for the Conscious Creative Business Immersion. This is my signature group container to help you design an offer so delicious, so juicy, so based on your soul gifts that you are thrilled to invite your soulmate clients inside of it. I'm going to teach you how to promote this offer with a ton of heart and to sell out this offer with ease to meet your revenue goals. I would love to have you inside if you are a visionary leader who knows that they are great at what they do. You'd like to collapse the timeline on how long it takes to reach consistent income with an offer that you truly love. Go to the link in the show notes to apply for the Conscious Creative Business Immersion. I will be sitting with your application individually, and I will send an email to let you know if you've been accepted in a few days after application. Thank you for trusting me with your vision, and I can't wait to see what we co-create.
I see my clients liking my other clients' posts and collaborating. And that's the benefits of creating a community and creating a program and creating an offering is my people go on and they meet each other in different parts of the world, and they have these people that support them in ways that they just aren't supported by the folks who don't get it. And there are folks out there that don't get it, that will say, justify your price. And there will be folks who say, how can you charge that? There was somebody that said that to me yesterday as I presented my offering at the 5-day retreat I was just in on Sacred Space Holding. I presented my Conscious Creative Business Immersion, which is my 3-month program to help soul-led entrepreneurs create, launch, and sell an offering that they are so lit up to offer that they naturally magnetize folks, but they also have a strategy of how they're going to, down to the step by step, how they're really going to make this business happen, how they're really going to meet those 10K consistent months and flourish in their gifts. And someone said, well, hey, like spiritual entrepreneurs don't have a lot of money. So how do you expect them to give you that money? I don't expect anyone to give me anything. I have created something that I know is going to help people. And I do see my potential clients as fully resourceful, able to do amazing things. I'm about to jump in on my mentor's next level offer, which is $50,000. I'm a girl from the hood. I don't have that in my bank account, and I am working behind the scenes to see how I can make that possible, because that's what we do. We make this stretchy investment in ourselves. We stand at the edge of what we thought was impossible. And the bigger the investment, the more expansive of an energy we get to feel, because money is an energy and it's a powerful one. That's why people have so much emotional charge around money. And in my world, I have neutralized money, where now it's just, okay, well, how can I make this a reality for me? How can I join this next level offering? How can I be in the VIP seat and get myself in the room around other people who are investing in themselves at that level, so that I can infuse that energy into my offering and be the person that I'm asking other people to become? I'm asking you to stand at the edge of your greatness and maybe make an investment in yourself that you've never made before. I know that I'm asking something big of you, because I know what it feels like to be asked that, to be made that kind of offer and go, whoa, this is scary. Whoa, how am I going to make this possible? And just choose and come decided that I am going to make it possible. And that's how we expand and open up our minds and our hearts to be able to receive and to be resourceful and make it happen. I don't have anyone in my family where I can ask to borrow that money, but I know that I'm going to make it a reality for me, because I want to be supported at that next level, because I want to be supported at that next level. And we're not designed to do much alone. We really aren't. As social humans and creatures of this earth, we're really not designed to do anything alone. But never mind build $1 million business, build a 6-figure business, build businesses that have the structures and the infrastructure and the support where 10K consistent months is not just a pipe dream, it's happening. In my world, $20,000 months are happening. And for me, at this point, it's like, oh, of course, of course. 3 years ago, even 2 years ago, like I would have fell out of my chair thinking about investing $50,000 in one offering. I would have fell out of my chair thinking about making $20,000 in a month. And now I'm at the vibration of, oh, of course, because this is your divine birthright. It's your birthright to be fully nourished and resourced so that you can channel that money. $50,000 investment is going to make me $250,000 and more. It's going to be the foundational pieces that make me a millionaire, where I will never worry about money again, and a sustainable $1 million business. So this is the principles that start. So we have to expand our mind about our audience and about ourselves and about what business is. And it's not about a clear niche. It's not about making sure your niche sounds perfect rolling off the tongue. It's about your offering. And is it coming from your heart? Was it created for your people so that they can actually get the outcomes that they want in their lives, right? So then the third thing that might be holding you back from meeting 10K months is not having the skills to sell a high value offer. So I hear from potential clients and past clients, they really want to be accessible. They really want to have an offering that's $300, $500. And I get it because I've been there. My first 1 month course was actually less than $300, but my first offering that turned into the offering that I have now was $300. I just feel for that version of me, because if I knew what I know now, then I would have started with a high value offer at a price over $1,000, and I would have simply gained the skills sooner to hold space for people, to invite them into their next level life. So even if you're not a business coach, and especially if you're not a business coach, what you do in this life and the tools that you have can transform somebody so that they're transformed on the deepest level possible, so that they're able to create miracles in their life, so that they're able to get exactly what they want from this life, whether it's a beautiful relationship, whether it's a house on a lake, because it could be material. It's up to you to understand what it is that your people truly want on a tangible level in this earthly dimension. Like for me, I want to be able to buy my mom a house because she has given so much for me and sacrificed so much in her life. And I am becoming a millionaire, not just for myself and not just to be able to donate to charities, but for my mom, to set her up for the rest of her life, to have something of her own. And that's what I know is in your heart. And your people, what do they want? Do they want spiritual awakening? Do they want to be able to learn the tools that you have? Do they want to be able to travel the world and speak on a stage because they've had trouble sharing their voice? Do they want to release trauma so that what? And we all want a few things in life. We all want natural, flowing, vibrant health. We all want a connection to spirit. We all want to feel the depth of relationships. And we do want financial security and freedom. And so this is why when you see an umbrella niche, talking about niches again, when you see an umbrella niche, you see that many of us that are doing really well, we're not reinventing the wheel. Our niches are health, spiritual, in nature, money, business, relationships, community. Like when you see the folks that you admire and the ones that are really crushing it, they're not coming up with a niche that has never not been validated. However, they're focusing on their offer and the quality of their offer. So you can be a business coach that helps this kind of people get this kind of result. But if your offer doesn't actually do that, then you're just a bunch of words on a screen. You're just typing things. You're just saying things. Your offer really makes what you say an embodied reality. So that's why in the Conscious Creative Business Immersion, I help you to create an offer that really gets results for people. And maybe you have this offer idea and you have this offer outlined, or you have this, or you've delivered this offer even. No matter where you are in this offer, if it's not meeting 10K months, then you might want to go and create a new offer. You may think, okay, it's the offer, but I'm going to help you to bring this offer into the hands of the people who you can most benefit and serve in this time now, so that your business sustainably runs, so that you can live the life that you're called to live. If your business, if your coaching and international education business is running at 10K months or more, then you are in overflow to be able to do what you want. If it's buy your mama house, if it's buy a plot of land and erect a temple, if it's to create a retreat center, a healing center, if it's to create a community center, if it's to fund a nonprofit, whatever it is that is in your heart, that bigger dream that you have, you can get there with, if you could get there on 20 hours a week of work, wouldn't you do it? Wouldn't you try? And that's what the Conscious Creative Business Immersion is about working less, by understanding that there's a better way, and it comes from within. It comes from your heart. It comes from what you came here to do. It comes from your soul's mission. And you don't have to work all these side jobs. Granted, there may be a transitional period where you're working side jobs to pay your coaches and learn the skills of high ticket sales, which is what I was talking about in the third thing, is instead of just keeping your price low because you don't have the skills to sell, why not raise your price and learn the skills of selling, which is what I teach in the 5th module of my Create method, which is trauma-informed sales, where we're selling as an act of service. And how to really do that comes from practice. So you learn, yes, I have scripts and I have frameworks, but you really have an opportunity to practice in community, practice with your cohort on selling your offer and offering your offer. And expressing the value of your offer on an enrollment call and even before, so that your people come to your enrollment calls already sold. And this is beautiful trauma-informed sales because it puts them at the choice. All of us have trauma with a little t. All of us have been affected by the way that marketing and advertising is in this world. And I am here to create a different kind of world where you can market your gifts and sell your offers in ways that feel good in your heart and in your body, and good for your people, where they come to your enrollment calls knowing that you're their go-to guide. And now maybe they want to understand the logistics. When are the calls? How can I pay you? And how many times have I gotten on calls over the last 3 years since the start of my business, because I knew I wanted to sell in a different way, where people were like, how can I pay you? Instead of convince me. Nobody has said that. People come to my calls. Of course, some people have questions and they have objections. And I teach you in the 5th module of my Create method how to handle objections in a heart-centered way without convincing. And yet, the way that I teach, your folks will be coming to your offerings going, please sign me up. How can I sign up? Because they'll be connecting to you and to your offer and to your heart and to your mission. And I'll help you to express that throughout our time together.